On the news, we see many accidents happening all the time for many different reasons. A vast majority of the accidents happen because the driver was somehow distracted on the road or sometimes intoxicated, but normally distracted. Many individuals are aware to not use their phones when driving, but they still do and often end up distracted and not focusing on the road. Many question whether or not their state does enough to prevent distracted driving. The state of Florida is not doing enough to prevent distracted driving on the road. Although the state currently has a law against texting and driving, according to the Florida legislation, enforcement of this section by state or local law enforcement agencies must be accomplished only as a secondary action when an operator of a motor vehicle has been detained for a suspected violation of another provision. Therefore, it's not a primary offense, so it's not as enforced. One of the major ways to get around nowadays to where individuals want to go is by driving. Cars and technology such as radios, phones, and etc. have improved over the years. Therefore, there are much more distractions when driving, especially phones. VVTI has stated that 5 seconds is the average time eyes are off the road while texting. When traveling at 55 miles per hour, that's enough time to cover the length of a football field blindfolded. It shows how even if you look at your phone for a split second, it puts your life in danger. Another example, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, talking on the phone causes nearly 25% of car crashes. Additionally, in 2008, almost 6,000 people were killed and 500,000 were injured in car crashes related to driver distraction. This here shows how much of an influence phones have on distracted driving. Also, this percentage was a couple of years ago, and nowadays the phone is used more frequently, so there would be more than just this amount of accidents. The press release from AAA stated that Florida was the 40th state to ban texting while driving. Although this law was passed, it was still a secondary offense, meaning you would have to be caught twice, and then the third time you would be charged. According to the NHTSA, the percentage of drivers text messaging or visibly manipulating handheld devices increased from 1.7% in 2013 to 2.2% in 2014. Since 2007, young drivers ages 16 to 24 have been observed manipulating electronic devices at higher rates than older drivers, which concerns many individuals because they are uncertain that the younger upcoming drivers will not take the ban seriously. Since there aren't strict actions, it impacted many citizens because large amounts don't feel safe while driving. In this quote, "It's a step in the right direction, but a small step," Kelly said. See that Florida isn't putting much effort to prevent distracted driving. This law isn't as threatening to individuals, and in this quote by NOPUS, at any given daylight moment across America, approximately 660,000 drivers are using cell phones or manipulating electronic devices while driving, a number that has held steady since 2010. Many can see how it hasn't decreased distracted driving. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, one of the biggest causes of accidents in Florida is distracted driving. And since it causes so many accidents, Florida should do more to prevent distracted driving and not make the law a secondary offense. SACS has even stated, "Every year we wait, more people die, and so many of them are young people. We have to do some work to do," which displays how Florida is not doing much to prevent distracted driving and should. In conclusion, the state of Florida's law is not doing enough to prevent distracted driving on the road. Although an enforcement has been made by the state of Florida in terms of disciplining those who do break the law the first time rather than the third time, it still isn't enough to prevent distracted driving. Although there was a law that banned texting and driving to help prevent distracted driving, it didn't really do much. The law was considered a secondary offense, so distracted driving still went on. We can all make the road safer by sending letters and emails to the state to enforce the law and make it a primary offense rather than a secondary one.